Hey guys! So last week, well, I guess a couple weeks ago, you watched the following experiment where they had the toothpicks stuck into some wax that was attached to a metal rod. And then as we heated up the rod, we saw these metal toothpicks fall. Well, today we're going to talk about heat. What is heat? If you can, I want you to grab an ice cube. You can pause the video, remember, anytime. When you have the ice cube, hold it in your hand. And I want you to think, do you warm up the ice or does the ice cool you down? Which one do you think? Well, heat always moves from warm to cool. So think about that. If heat always moves from warm to cool, then you are warming up the ice cube, and that's what's causing it to melt. So your hand has all of these molecules that are moving really fast. And these molecules, since they're moving faster, well, I should say faster than the ice molecules, they have more energy. Since they have more energy, then they have more heat. And when you hold the ice cube, those molecules in your hand are hitting the ice cube, and it's slow molecules. Every time they hit those molecules in the ice cube, they transfer some of the energy. So your hand is losing some of the energy or losing some of the heat and transferring it to the ice cube, giving those ice cube molecules more energy. As they receive more energy, those molecules in the ice can begin to separate from the other molecules. When they begin to separate and take up more space, they are transforming their state of matter, becoming a liquid. So when you have a glass of pop and you put ice in it, does the pop warm up the ice or does the ice cool down the pop? Well, the pop is warming up the ice. In the process of warming up the ice, your drink or the pop is losing energy. So its temperature or the amount of heat it has is decreasing. So let's look. Here we have a lake and a pond. Which one do you think will freeze first and why? Well, if we look at them, right, we have two different sizes of water or amounts of water, if you will. The lake, right, is huge. There's a lot of water. So we're going to need a lot of energy to freeze that lake because there's lots of molecules that we would have to slow down enough to get them to decrease their movement or to freeze. This pond is a lot smaller. We're not going to need as much energy to cool down or to freeze that pond to get those molecules to slow down. So the pond will definitely freeze first. Why? Because it's a lot smaller and it will take less energy to slow down those molecules and change the liquid to a solid. All right, which has greater thermal energy and why? So thermal energy is the total amount of energy in a system, meaning how many molecules are in that system and how fast they're all moving. That would be the thermal energy. So here, right, our hot tub would have greater thermal energy. There's a lot of energy or a lot of molecules in that hot tub with water, that are all moving. Here we have a pot of some soup and there's not as many molecules in the soup, but the molecules in the soup are moving faster than the molecules in the hot tub, but there's not as many of them. The temperature in the soup would be higher than the temperature in the hot tub, but the hot tub has greater thermal energy. So thermal energy is the total amount of energy, or think of it as taking how many molecules are in that system. So we have way more molecules in the hot tub than we do the pot of boiling soup. Temperature is an average. So temperature is the average of how fast all the molecules are moving divided by, in essence, how many molecules are in there. So the pot of soup would have a greater temperature, but the hot tub would have greater thermal energy. So one last time, thermal energy is the total amount of energy in a system. A system refers to everything there. So here, right, we have all of this water in the hot tub. And then temperature is the average. So taking the average into account how many molecules there are and how fast they're moving. All right, what factors influence how much the temperature of an object will increase or decrease? Well, the factors that will include how much it will increase or decrease is how much stuff do we have. So the temperature is how many molecules are in there, right? The larger something is, okay, it's going to take us a lot longer to increase or decrease the temperature of that. Think of the lake versus the pond. And then we talked a whole bunch about the difference between thermal energy and temperature. So heat, right? What is heat? Heat, in essence, is just how fast are molecules moving. So everything has heat, right? Everything is made up of molecules. Some things have a greater heat or thermal energy because those molecules are moving faster. Some things have a less thermal energy because the molecules aren't moving as fast. Well, heat can be transferred in one of three ways. The first way we can transfer heat is by conduction. Conduction is directly touching something and transferring heat. So like your hand holding the ice cube, you're transferring the heat from your body to the ice cube because you're touching the ice cube. Whenever we cook anything on a pan, it's directly touching the pan. The pan's getting hot and touching that food or object we're cooking, and therefore heating or transferring heat by conduction. Convection is through currents. Think of it like smoke in your house, right? The hot air rises. That's convection. The cool air falls. So through convection, if you remember when you watched the pot of boiling water, you could kind of see the bubbles going up and then some of the other water coming down once the bubbles popped. That would be convection. And then the last one is radiation. So through waves. That's like being by a campfire and you can feel the heat of the campfire, but right, luckily it's not conduction because we don't want to be in the campfire, but it's through the heat being radiated from that campfire, or the sun is transferring its heat through waves. So here we have a couple. Okay, I want you to think the top left, cookies. How are those cookies receiving heat? Is it through conduction, convection, or radiation? Hopefully you said conduction, right? Because they're touching that hot pan is how it is, right? When we put it in the oven, right, the pan is getting hot due to radiation through the heat in our oven. All right, clothes hanging out to dry. How are those clothes getting dry? Through conduction, convection, or radiation? Radiation, right? All right, let's look at the corn. How is that butter melting or receiving heat? Conduction, right? It's touching the hot corn, right? When you get sunburn, ouch, that, right? The heat is being transferred through radiation. All right, sorry, I almost told you. So your furnace, when you're heating up your home, how is your home being heated? By what means? Convection, right? The hot air, you'll probably notice if you have a basement that the upstairs will always kind of feel a little bit warmer than your basement downstairs because the hot or warm air is going to rise. All right, when we steam vegetables, how are the vegetables being cooked? It's convection, right? That hot boiling water underneath sends up hot air which is going to cook those vegetables. And the last one, when you're roasting those yummy marshmallows around the campfire, those marshmallows are melted due to, yes, hopefully you said radiation. Different substances act differently or transfer heat differently. So an insulator, if something's an insulator, it's really hard for heat to be transferred. The reason why is because an insulator, the molecules are spread far apart. So it's hard for the molecules to transfer energy to another molecule because they're farther apart. A conductor transfers energy extremely easily and fast. And it's because the molecules are close together. So back to that candle experiment, this metal rod was transferring the heat really fast because metal is a good conductor. The molecules in metal are really close together. So as one molecule receives more energy from that fire, it's going to hit and transfer energy to the molecule right next to it. And it's going to keep doing that, transferring its energy down. So hopefully you have a better understanding what is heat. There are no notes in your science packet today, but we will continue with episode 7 tomorrow. Bye, guys.